Hi, welcome to another episode of Almost a Conversation. I'm George, and this is a podcast about the conversations that we feel we should be having. This is our final episode. We made it through season 1, and usually we spend our episodes looking back, nostalgic purposes. This episode, I want to look forward to the future, because I've known you guys a long time, and I'm gonna know you both for a long time. We've obviously had one of the craziest last 12 months that any of us have seen in our lifetime, but hopefully we can start moving back to not back to normal. I think we're going to move forward into a new normal. What do you guys want to bring into the future coming out of this disaster movie?
I suppose just taking opportunities and looking for opportunities, because many of my colleagues and whatnot have decided to change career paths and take up things that they've never thought they would go into.
Yeah.
And I think this last 12 months, the pandemic has taught them that, you know what, life is short. It really is. You don't really think about it. People just go through the motions and just live without thinking about things to an extent, and just do what just live your life, go for your dreams kind of thing, and whatever that might be, at least try kind of thing.
Hear it, Stom. What yourself? Actually, I've got a different question for you. Going into the lockdown, how was your individual world different coming out of it?
Bruh. It was probably more social. Definitely more social. I probably had more of a life of a extrovert. I think I live a life that's very, very, very introverted now. That's probably the biggest difference. I was always reflective. I'm probably more reflective now. I was a lot more on social media.
Yeah.
So I was more into like trendy things. I think I'm just a bit more reserved. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest with you, keep myself to myself for better and for worse.
For worse, do you mean like you don't put yourself in positions where you maybe would have put yourself in before that could be beneficial?
No, I think just how do I say this? I'm more isolated, so like things that that shouldn't bother you that much will bother me a lot more. I don't talk to a lot of people about a lot of things. And probably my distrust of people has probably grown. Yeah, probably that.
Bit morbid, but
no, but I don't know.
Understandably,
yeah, it's just.
I think
it's
a lot
just,
of people's true opinions on things have come out.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
But like, I think it's boundaries as well. I've developed more boundaries, so I don't let people. When people cross them, I genuinely step back. Before, I would feel a bit more like. I think I was a bit more of a people pleaser back then.
Yeah.
Now it's a bit like, and probably the reason I would say more isolated is because a lot of people, again, like I said, episode before, people don't listen. People talk to respond. People tell you what they would do, not what they think you should do, because they're not listening. So I don't really, for that sole purpose, I'm very isolated. Not very, just a little bit more isolated. Very.
I think a common theme moving forward from conversations I've had with people is protect your energy, innit? You know what I mean? Protect your energy. I think you do that as well. I think that you're doing that without even knowing, because I've known you for a while. You give yourself to a lot of things, innit? And I feel like you saying that you're isolated, I think you're just protecting your energy a little bit better. Do you know what I mean? Like you know. So for me, I'm like, I don't give myself to everything, but what I give myself to, I give myself to that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I really give myself to that, and I can go home and I can sleep at night and I can not be feel drained or anything, because I know what I'm giving myself to is thought about a little bit more. Do you know what I mean? I think, like you said, just thinking about things a little bit more before you give yourself to things. Definitely. I want you both to name like one thing, the biggest change in your life since, in like not even in
the last 12
your
months.
mentality, just in immediate circumstance. Yeah.
So like a tangible change.
Yeah.
Oh, working from home. I guess that's the most immediate one. Yeah. What you?
Yeah, it's just the dynamics of relationships, and that maybe with people or with things or concepts. As T said, working from home, I think I'm an advocate of that. To be fair, I don't see the point.
He's more than an advocate, man.
Hey, we're living in a digital age, why am I going to a single place of work to perform a task? Is this the Industrial Revolution?
I hear you, bruv. I hear you, bruv.
So
I hear you.
I understand the people aspect, communicate with colleagues and stuff. Yeah, we can do that a couple times a week, but
No, I'm with it.
Yeah. I think like people realize that, for example, commuting, you take 2 hours just to go somewhere and go back from somewhere. That's long, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Like,
if you have the means to do it, as in if you don't work in like construction or something.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and it's crazy that it took such a monumental event for businesses to evolve.
Yeah.
They're always talking about, how do we evolve? It's a load of nonsense, because they're not evolving. They're scared to make certain changes because it may
Risky,
impact their
man.
bag,
Yeah.
Fear of
impact
the
their money.
unknown.
Yeah, fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
They know it's working, so why change it? But again, that's what people have potentially learned over the.
To jump off that, one thing I learned, it's from a Batman comic, funny enough, yeah. Adapt or die.
Yeah.
And businesses learned that quick. Top Man, they went out of business because one of the main reasons they stayed in store far too long. It's adapt or die. And like you said, if you don't, sometimes circumstances force you to adapt, but like that's one thing I've learned. It's not just in businesses, it's in people's relationships.
Yeah.
They're not used to seeing their partners that often. Now you're at home together all the time.
You notice things.
You notice things, and how do you
Notice
adapt to that? And it's adapt or break up.
Yeah.
No,
so
facts.
that's one big thing I learned. If you don't adapt, what you have will drastically change, and it might change for the better, but it will drastically change in a way that you may not like for a while.
Yeah. No, that's real. So what's like you were saying with the businesses like ASOS, you know what I mean? They knew it before. They had the long term. Is there a way that you guys feel you can keep ahead of it in case something happens? Because like it shouldn't really have to take something so catastrophic for things to move forward like that.
Yeah,
But
I
now-
suppose if things are working well, your life is how you see it. It's about reevaluating, having moments of reflection. Okay, cool, life is good. How do I make it better, or how do I prevent it from getting worse?
Yeah.
Or life is not great. How do I resolve that? My relationships aren't, my mental health isn't where I want it to be. How do I take the steps to combat that? And that's one thing I've really seen a change in myself, is checking up on people more. And I've realized that family, friends, just every now and again I'm like, yo, how you doing?
What you saying?
Yeah.
I think our group dynamic as a friendship group's changed several times through lockdown, to be fair. But I think coming out of it, like you said, it's more us, man. Like we used to think we could chat about anything,
Yeah.
but now we can chat about anything. You know what I'm saying? We can reason about anything. If you piss me off, like me and T got into it the other day in the morning on WhatsApp. A joke was taken out of context, and I just said, "Bro, I'm gonna call you," and then we reasoned on the phone.
Yeah.
And as soon as we got on the phone, it wasn't even nothing like that. Do you know what I mean? It was just, let's reason, bro. Let's get to the da-da-da-da-da. But it's all good afterwards. I don't think those kind of conversations would have been able to happen before lockdown, because, for example, like things that like we all went to the protest together, and Black Lives Matter protest. That's something that affected all of us mentally. You man saw man shouting, like I'm almost in tears, bro. Like I see the same thing with you, man. So when you've seen each other at that point, all these other little things don't mean nothing. Like it's all semantics, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's all semantics, but under everything, you guys are my guys. I rate you guys. I want to build with you guys. Like look at what we got now. We have a podcast now. We haven't had a podcast before.
Yeah, that was that. Remember the conversation we just
podcast,
had?
The conversation it came from you. The whole idea to have the podcast.
I remember that.
Random. What was it? We were having when we were doing the Zoom calls with the group chat that we
Oh
had.
yeah.
And we did a Zoom call, and they were like, "Yeah, can't we just start doing you should do a podcast?" And then it grew into this idea. But also, I think that wouldn't have been able to happen if we didn't have the time to slow down, reflect, say,
It's the time to slow down. It's that time to slow down. Like, I think like before you would just, the only time you had time to slow down was when you go home, and it's really just eat, do whatever activity you normally do, sleep.
Yeah.
It was that. Now you've got, like, I remember I logged off at 5 and I'm like,
got bare time.
Bare time. So it's just that time to slow down. It's proper. It's. I feel like it's aged me in a good way though. Like I just. You don't need to. I'm not in a rush anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not in a mad rush. Like.
Tech time.
It's in the bag.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. It's hard. I think one thing you said about like how do you stay ahead. It's hard, man. It's hard because in order to stay ahead, you got to kind of spot trends.
Yeah.
And like, what's a trend? What's just a blip in the moment? It's hard. So I wouldn't tell anyone to panic too much. Just believe in yourself, and if you see the wind going somewhere, maybe go that way.
I think don't be afraid to be led as well. Don't be afraid to let life lead you. Do you know what I mean? You ain't got to lead. You ain't got to lead life. Do you know what I'm saying? I think luckily
I hear
for
that.
me, you know what I'm saying?
I hear that. Yeah. I proper felt that. Yeah. No, I hear that.
Come on, man. I've got some gems in there sometimes.
I hear that.
I think so. For me personally, you don't know, before it was 2018. That's when my world changed drastically. I lost all my grandparents who were the closest people to me, innit? So from that point, when I hit that point, that's when I realized I need to evolve and adapt and stay ahead, because things come out of the blue that you don't expect happening to you. So then when lockdown happened, I'd already filmed the film that we made in Jamaica. I'd already made the album, blah, 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 blah. I'd already had my plan. So lockdown was like, okay, it's a little blip. But then I think me personally coming out of it, obviously the world's been through a lot. Like we've all been through a lot, but career-wise, life-wise, where my life is, where my mentor is, I'm better than ever, bro. I think me personally, I think I'm better than ever. I even got hair, bro. You know what I mean? I've got hair. Like, you don't know, I used to wear hats all day. I was like Callum. I used to wear hats. I had the number 2 fade, bald on the sides. I said I'm going to be bald.
We switched, fam.
And now he used to have dreads. Yeah, Ra used to have dreads. And it was like... Yeah, exactly. So, but I say that to say, for me, I think I've always kind of thought about planning way far ahead. Like so me and you, we planned business-wise, we planned what to do in 2-3 years. Like we were so far ahead that we have the plan. Obviously, you have things that happen to the plan. The plan changes, but as long as you have your
skeleton,
as long as you have your skeleton, you can follow that. I feel like you formed a plan now with what you're doing.
Chess player, bro. I was never a checkers player, bro.
You said that on BB time ago. You said this is chess, not checkers.
Always, bro.
I didn't get it.
I've never played checkers, bro.
You never play checkers?
Never played checkers. Always play chess. Simple.
So what does chess teach you then?
Just think ahead. Think 2 steps ahead. But also, the trick is...
Grandmaster T, yeah?
No. It's not even that. It's not about...
Before what's that show that came out? The Queen's Gambit?
Yeah.
Before that came out, bro, T was on chess.
T was on it. Yeah.
No, it's to think ahead. It's as simple. You think ahead, but always be prepared for a new variant. Something can happen and it just changes the plan, but you just need to be in your head prepared for that.
Oh, yeah.
And as soon as that happens, you got to think kind of quick, create a new plan, think ahead for that.
No,
like
facts.
one of the questions was, what do you plan for the new normal? I don't know what the new normal looks like. I just know what my plan is, and it just needs to be adaptable enough to whatever happens around it.
Well, you look at the amount of times they've said, we're coming out of lockdown, we're going back in. We're coming out, we're going back in. Do you know
France
what I
is
mean?
in one now. France just went into one now, and they're on our doorsteps. So I don't know when the next time I get to really go out will be. I can't plan for that, but I can plan for other stuff. I can plan to meet people. Do you know what I'm saying? You can plan for that. It's chess, baby.
I think even like small things like working out how to train. Like me, we even came training with us a couple of times. Like we quite, I don't want to say we're gym fanatics, but we go to gym quite regularly. And then lockdown happening, we're like, oh man, what are we gonna do with gym? A couple of months went by, everyone put on a bit of weight, put a bit of timber, and then me and T were like, do you know what? We need to just go to the park, train. And then the lockdown lifted. We're like, okay, now we can go to the gym. But if the gym closes again, then we have this. But if that doesn't work, we also have this. Blah blah blah. And I think that's just a reflection of
something
yeah.
small as that. I see people tweeting, and they're like, say, "Oh, I can't wait for the gym to open." Bro, I've been working out every day.
Exactly.
I don't need it to open. If it's open, it's a bonus.
Exactly.
If it's closed, adapt or survive. Adapt or die, bro. Simple as that. It seems like, when you say, yeah, I'm a chess player, not a chess. It's actually mad simple in your head. You just prepare for a few different
possibilities.
Yeah.
If this happens, then this. If all goes well, like my thing now is always worst case scenario. Even when I'm panicking about something, I think, okay, Jordan, but what is the worst case scenario? And the worst case scenario is never as bad as I think it's going to be. And then when you think about the worst case scenario, you think, okay, if this is the worst case scenario, this is how I'm going to be okay. If this worst case scenario happens. If the second worst case scenario happens, I'll be even better. So fine. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think it's all about planning, bro. Yeah, planning. What do you think this has taught you? This whole experience?
You should ask the whole room that.
Yeah, we should. No,
we should.
yeah.
I want to hear you lot's opinion.
100%. We'll start with Jamal. Where's the Koji though? Bring in the Koji, man.
She allowed in the room.
Yeah.
We've got these lockdown rules now.
I'm not sure I can
offend
put
no
it in. I'm not sure I can.
What's like a, you would say, big taking point? Like if your child in the future says, what was one of the big lessons you learned from this? You learned personally.
I would say one lesson I've learned is don't rely on the system too much. Whatever system that may be. That again, we've all been secluded in our own little bubbles. I've lived alone for the last how many months?
Yeah.
And it's cool. I can rely on my family net, which is like a system. But again, at the end of the day, you're on your own. You've got to be accountable for your actions, for your your life is going. Cool, there are these moving parts around you, but again, as T said, how do you maneuver in a way that you got your own back?
Yeah.
If I lose my job, furlough, no longer giving me pay, how am I supposed to survive? And yeah, that's one thing I've definitely, don't rely on the system.
Don't rely on the system.
Too much, whatever system that may be.
What was the big thing I learned?
Biggest teacher from the year, not from chess.
Sometimes reacting impulsively to something ain't the worst thing. You don't need to overthink it. If you feel like it's wrong, it's wrong. Move on.
Follow your gut. Respect it.
Yeah.
I found a quote, so there's two Bible quotes. One's in John chapter 3 verse 27, the next one's Luke chapter 17 verse 21. So John chapter 3 verse 27 is, a man can receive nothing unless it's given to him from heaven. But on the flip side of that, Luke 17:21 is, the kingdom of heaven is within you. So take out the religious aspects of that, put it into life. A man can receive nothing unless it's given to him from heaven, but heaven's in you. So trust yourself, trust your thing. Do you know what I mean? Like it's all, you have the answers, innit? Do you know what I mean? There's nothing. I was reading this book called, what's it called? Something about feeling, yeah. But it's basically saying that everything that you want from the external world, you pull it. It's attracted to you by the magnetism that's within you, innit? It's not from external forces. You know what I mean? So even you saying accountability is so important. What you put out into the world, you get from it. You know what I'm saying? If you interpret a situation, same situation can happen to you and happen to me. We just interpret it in different ways. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so like even the other day, I went to a shoot for BBC, yeah, and there's me and another person on set. We had the same experience. We had to both change one of our lines for legal reasons, yeah. I was like, okay, cool, but that's fine because I'm on BBC. I'm gassed to be here in the first place. The other guy turns around and he's like, oh, that's ruined my whole day. Da 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 da. So even what I was saying in the last episode, it's all about your reaction to the event, and that equals the outcome. It's not about, because the same event happened to both of us, but it was just my look on it that made it different.
No, in fact, like we say regularly, give thanks.
Give thanks. Every
You
day.
have to, like, no matter what situation you're in, it could be the most dire situation. But you know what? It's a bit a cliche to say it, but there's definitely always someone out there that's in a worse position.
100%.
Like the
Thanks.
fact that we all have our life right now and we're going through a pandemic is a big thing. It's licking off bare people, but we're sitting here.
Two of my best friends.
Yeah,
A great crew as well. You know what I'm saying? And
facts.
it's all about how you interpret it.
Yeah, you can't take things too personally.
And then what is weird, because when you see people that are in worse situations but they seem happier than you,
Yeah,
you're like,
literally.
yo, yeah.
perspective, and you can't take things too personally. Something bad happens to us. Oh, why me? Why me? Yeah, it's happened now. It's not really gonna change that. I get it sometimes. Sometimes I take things real personally. It's because it's me. That's why you thought you could da 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 da. But sometimes I don't know, man. The world doesn't revolve around you, and like we say that all the time. But like when COVID happened, you really learn. The world stopped.
Yeah.
Like it stopped. The first lockdown, if you went outside, it was like an apocalypse scene. So I think
Weird.
that
It was
yeah,
weird,
that was something where I kind of learned that my place in the world is everyone's place in the world was inconsequential compared to what was going on.
Yeah.
Like pretty much everything stopped.
Yeah, jobs didn't matter. Didn't matter where you worked. Didn't matter. Like anyone can get it. Do you know what I mean? Anyone
That
can get
first one, that very first one, entertainment has stopped. You never think music, football, films would stop. Those industries, they're too big. They all stopped. Now they haven't. But
I also think what came about is the importance of things like that, like music, like sport, entertainment. It's the soundtrack. Do you know what I mean? The soundtrack of everything, bro. Like I think the fact that I managed to release my music like a month after we went into the first lockdown, I saw how important it was for people to have music, people to have just something to get through whatever they're going through. Do you know what I mean? On an extreme level.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that a lot of people take for granted. I've seen so many more people through lockdown be more creative. You know, just doing things that are creative, making cake. Bro, everyone, the banana bread thing, and then the sprinkle cake thing. I don't even know what it is now. Now everyone's on CMOS gel.
oh yeah, that's
CMOS gel.
Everyone's on
Yeah.
CMOS gel now. It's the new trend.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's good for you though.
It's
Yeah.
really good for you.
Yeah.
You know, it's really good. The health benefits of it are proper.
Yeah,
But
it's proper wild.
it's just people trying to create. Everyone's trying to start their own business. Like we have Jamal wearing the splash socks that a friend of mine made, and it was lockdown that made them pursue those kind of things because you just had a bit more time.
Yeah.
We're starting hair companies as well.
Starting a hair company.
Yeah, anything.
Yeah, it just teaches you like what do you. And I think people should always ask themselves, what do I really want to do? What do I wake up thinking? Yeah, I like that. Because I'm not saying anyone can get a job, but like going into work, that's
That's not what you want to do.
Yeah, you're surviving, and I know depending on people's situations, you kind of got to do that. But like, are you trying to get to that? No, I'm proud to say my job. Like, I'll say it anywhere, anytime. And I think that's something I've seen a lot of people turn to more. Not thinking, oh yeah, this career is cool. No, this is what I want to do. And that's a massive positive. There's loads of negatives, but that's a massive positive. And it's better to end on a positive.
100%. I remember I used to be ashamed of telling people I'm a musician.
Really?
Not ashamed, but I used to be like, if I tell you I'm a musician, you're either gonna think I'm a failure musician, or I'm just another musician, or I'm a guy that's not got a degree and is working a job, a 9 to 5 or something. But now I'm like, bro, I enjoy what I do so much. Yeah? I love what I do. I love even the fact that we're here. I wake up and do what I want to do all day. You said, oh, let's make a podcast. All right, cool. We'll make it happen. Simple as that. I'm just going off of what I feel like I want to do. And So now I'm very proud to say everything that I do, and I think even through music, we've managed to come up with other ventures that are from a place of passion, not from a place of it's for the coin, it's for anything like that. And taking a break and slowing down and seeing things as allowed people in general just to look and say, oh, do you know what? I got a bit of time. What do I want to do right now? It's like when people have a week off of work and they don't know what to do with their week off of work, so they work on their week off of work. Like actually tune in with what you want to do and do it because you can, or find a way to do it. Do you know what I'm saying? So, you know, you got way better at football through lockdown. We started going to the park and training, and you just wanted to practice. You just wanted to get better at football. That's all you wanted to do. And now you're
I'm nothing special. Let's put it in context. You know, just improvement.
Do you understand my point though? Like you managed to look at it and think, I just want to. There's no. You're not doing it to sign to a football club.
It's impossible.
It's personal development, I think. And that's the main thing I've learned is to slow down and develop yourself, rather than develop your career. Yourself and your career are two very different things. And even through music, being signed as a signed artist, sometimes you get to a point when it's like, oh, okay, I want my career to go here. You think about your career aspirations, not your personal aspirations. That when I thought about my personal aspirations, I live to serve, innit? I want to provide people with a soundtrack to their life, or I want to help give people stuff. So even one thing that me and Jamal have done, we're forming a new social enterprise called Pitney Uniforms, where we're going to provide uniforms to kids who are on free school meals plans, and that's from nothing but passion, bruv. Yeah, nothing but passion. There may be profits from it, but the main thing, we looked and we said, oh, do you know what, we could do that. Like we just looked at whoever else was selling uniforms, and we said, you know what, we could do that, but we could like help people whilst we do that. So let's do that, and then all the benefits of doing that, the money might come later. Who knows, innit? But at the same time, the main thing that we're doing is making a difference.
The main thing is just doing it.
Exactly. Doing things that we want to do because of passion. Yeah. You get me?
And don't allow like, oh, but this might happen, but this might. Just try it.
Worth a try.
Who knows?
Facts. You know what I'm saying?
Who knows?
Like even our conversations, these aren't conversations that are for anything. We're not thinking about what's going to happen after we have the conversation. We're just chatting. You know what I'm saying? We've
loads of cameras around.
We've lost the cameras. How many? 4 right now. But like, there's no different conversations to ones we have in ends. Genuinely. Like, and I'm sure you guys like enjoy putting these things together as much as we enjoy doing them. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's great you can feel it. It's good to be in a place where everyone
is enjoying what they're doing,
and no one's like, oh, they've got to do this.
Honestly, that neggy energy doesn't do anyone any good.
Neggy energy, man.
It doesn't do coming into work and moaning about work but no one wants to say, so why the fuck are you here? Like, no one wants to say it. No one wants to say it. Like, maybe this ain't for you. Yeah. But like, we come into here, we have a great talk. In the break, we have another great talk.
And we go have a break and then we're like, oh, we should have filmed this one.
Yeah. Jordan has career prospects of doing K-pop one day. Like, we have great chats, man. And I just enjoy that, honestly. But I don't think, if the lockdown never happened, I may have just been like, oh, I don't know if I want to be on camera. Overthinking. Sometimes just go with your gut. I like the idea of this. Let me just go.
Yeah, figure it out later, man.
Yeah. Or as you go.
As you go, we'll work all that other stuff out.
If you're a chess player, you've already figured it out.
Grandmaster team.
So have you figured it out then?
No, I can't lie to you. I can't lie to you.
At one point you were in check.
Yeah.
Definitely in check.
You can think you haven't figured it out and then it's done out.
Last question. Where do you guys see yourself in 12 months' time?
Still scamming, I'm telling you. Hustlers will always hustle with it. But you know what? If I'm being serious, I just don't want to say the plan in my head, but I just think I'll be, instead of it being a plan, I'll be in it. And hopefully doing more of these.
In the plan?
Yeah. Hopefully definitely doing more podcasts by that point. I hope by that point I've got more content out of myself. Nice. I think, I would say that, and I just think better relationships with people in my personal life, where it's not that you're cool because you're afraid to argue. You're cool because you can argue, and it doesn't go too far.
Because you can reason.
Because you can reason. You can reason. So I just hope that's the development. I hope another thing, I just hope I keep learning. I hope I never think I've learned too much.
I hear that still. Do you have any specific like targets though?
Nope. No.
Fair play.
Not specific. Be happy, you know. Always give yourself to people as much as you can, but specific. No, not really.
Yeah, pretty much the same theme, to be honest. But I would say having more freedom.
I hear that.
Yeah.
Wherever it may be, financially, physically, being able to, as you say, get up and do as I please.
Yeah.
Because I'm not bound to anything to an extent.
Yeah.
But yeah, having more freedom.
Yeah. Respect it.
You?
Oh, me? It's more the same, man. Genuinely, like I feel like I've been out of the matrix for a while, innit? So more of the same. I think I'm at the stage where I know where my thing's going, and I know I just got to keep doing the same thing that I've been doing. Like I'm a bit ahead. Like, you know me, I've already recorded the next album. The album's not even out yet. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel like I'm ahead. My next thing is to sow seeds for other people and serve. Do you know what I mean? Like even like helping you guys by bringing this podcast. So I see you as a personality that can go as a personality. Do you know what I mean? And then you can go and venture off and do your own things. Me and Jamal going into business on several things, and he's starting sowing seeds on other things. Like I'm hearing you. I don't even hear it from you. I hear it from my accountant. I'm like, yeah, Jamal did it there. I'm like, oh, okay. So he's working his own thing, and I think that's the. I just want to keep leaving the door open behind me.
I like that.
See that
And
flex? He didn't hear that. He heard it from his accountant. That was a stunt. Humble
That's not
brag.
a flex.
Humble brag.
That's not a
The
flex.
most humble brag. And he said it in a comment, yeah, my accountant.
That's not a flex. It's normal conversation. You know what I mean? That's just normal.
At the same time, you should normalise having an accountant.
Fact.
Yeah?
Facts though.
Put your money on top of your
Financial education is key. You get me? So yeah, more of the same, but more for everyone else.
More life.
More life,
Facts.
and more scamming.
Facts.
We're gonna wrap it up there. Season 1 done.
See you season 2.